Hi everyone. Today we have a very special guest with us. That's Pradeep Punia. He's an ex-software engineer at Cisco and a current UPSC aspirant. Pradeep, would you like to say something about me?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of your videos. All that
Yeah, I thought
I
so.
used
Yeah, yeah. I'm so famous after all. But Pradeep, today, we are going to have a very important discussion. So we have a set of questions to ask. I think, Pradeep, most of the questions will be directed towards you. Do feel free to put your thoughts forward. I will try not to put a slap suit against you after this ends. So the first question that we have is, should education, which is primary or secondary education, let's say up to 12th standard, should it be subsidized? Should it be free? Should it be paid? What are your thoughts on this?
I think at least we should provide one good alternative, which is free or at very affordable price. I'm not saying they nobody should make money out of this thing, but the core principle of all these companies or whatever institutes they are providing education, the core principle should be education, not the revenue part. And as a society also, it's somewhat of our responsibility to provide better education. Else how can we ever say to somebody like, ये क्या कर रहा है यार, समाज में इस तरह के लोग आ गए हैं, इस तरह के लोग आ गए हैं. Unless we are providing a better education to the new generation, how can we expect something good out of it?
Okay, that's an interesting point. But don't you think that is true for everything in the world? For example, healthcare. मैंने बहुत सारे लोगों को सुना है कि they say healthcare is super important. It's a life and death matter. It should be as free or subsidized as possible. But the professionals who are working there are also, running families and stuff like that. And also, it's not necessarily running families. Maybe they want to go to Switzerland or Iceland and stay in an igloo, which is an extremely expensive proposition, let's say. Where do we draw the line that this is good enough to be paid and this should be free?
Yeah, now healthcare is, I think, a totally different. It's an important thing, but it's a totally different as compared to education. And as we have seen, the Obama healthcare, that is also, somewhere hanging around. We don't know what's happening over there as well. If they can't come up with a free healthcare system, I don't think it's totally doable in India as well. And I'm not an expert in healthcare, so I don't know if it's possible or not.
Neither am
So
I.
I
So let me just clarify, Pradeep. You and I, we are just software engineers mainly who are picking up topics which are way bigger than us. But the reason why we're doing this, the reason we are even trying to grapple with these questions is because I think through a free flow of ideas, through exchanging our opinions and thoughts and everything, we'll probably come out of this better than we started. That's the general idea, and I also want to understand what your stance is in this in general, so that the viewers get this. I think most of the people who are watching this have a good idea why Pradeep has been invited here. There's a bigger issue which is happening right now. To some extent, Pradeep has become the face of this issue. I don't want my opinions to be crushed in a way that they can never ever come out again, even if they're wrong, because it helps me grow when I speak. So, Pradeep, feel free to speak your heart out over here.
No, what I'm saying is that healthcare is a very capital intensive business. Right? You need a lot of money to provide a better healthcare. But in education, I think we can totally do it. Provide a better education system for free. One teacher can teach to millions of students, but one doctor, I don't think, can operate to a lot of patients at once. So the factors are quite different in both the scenarios. And in India, we do have a lot of teachers who are willing to provide education for free. There are lakhs of people who are like very much motivated towards education and they want to do something good in the sector and provide a better education for free. So it's not just because actually these companies are just coming up with these false claims, and they are also overriding these independent teachers who are providing better education on YouTube and other platforms. So it's a very unfair business what these companies are doing. They come up with like lifetime free education star mark. So there's no free education. They are providing like free coding classes, free coding certificates. There's nothing free in that. So it's unfair to the independent YouTubers and teachers who are providing and who are teaching on YouTube.
The thought that is coming in my mind is there are some companies which claim that if you open that bottle of soda, then you get happiness, or this is a celebratory moment. But in reality, we know that the soda is not bringing the happiness. It's mainly that they are encouraging people to use it in an occasion. So what I'm thinking about is, at what point do we decide that this marketing is deceptive? Because if we draw a line, that is very, according to me personally, it is quite risky that you cannot claim X even in a fictional way. I shouldn't take company names, but yeah, there are many ads which are fantastic in terms of their imagination, but not necessarily what they claim to be. So when do we draw that line that, hey, you have made a claim, we are going to hold you accountable to it?
I think we should look at the implications and the outcome of those ads. Like, nobody has, like, there might be some cases, but I don't know any cases where somebody got depressed that I didn't get the happiness out of the soda. Like, ठीक है, नहीं हुआ, इतना मजा नहीं आया पी के, and the taste was bad. And it cost what, 10 rupees, 20 rupees, that's it. But these education edtech companies are charging like 1 lakh rupees, and they are playing with the future. So the risk involved is way too high in these companies and what they are. So also, I think, like, basically we shouldn't accept these things in education. Okay, Baki companies are also doing it. I get it. The cars also, car companies also say like we have the best car. Everybody is saying we have the best thing do they have. But okay, if you don't like the product, you can buy the other product. But these companies are selling their product for like 4 years. The cost itself is huge and the risk involved is too high. The kids can go into depression because of these companies.
I do agree with you that when a person makes a promise, for example, if you buy a boat and then the boat says that this is sturdy, this is nice, and then the boat has a hole, then I won't be very pleased because it's not doing the basic functionality of a boat thing. However, to be honest with you, if somebody is providing that basic functionality, everything else is subjective. So whether it is worth it or not, I don't know.
Yeah, like if some education platform is saying that we are the best in business, we provide the best education, then also I am somewhat okay with it. ठीक है, सब अपने आप को best तो बोलेंगे.
जैसे गौरव सैन खुद को best बुलाता होगा, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. But if you are claiming, like, if you also tomorrow claims that I'll post about you as well. If you claim that watch my video, 15-minute video, and you will get a Google job for sure, and you will get 150 crore rupee salary, then that's obviously wrong.
Okay. So you have just destroyed the next idea for my video. But ठीक है, चलो. I almost had it ready to deploy, but ठीक है. I'll go to my next question. What do you think about the promises made in IIT JEE coaching? So I went to IIT JEE coaching. This is an entrance test in India, which a lot of people apply for. There's a lot of aspirants for very few seats. There are some fantastic claims made by many institutions, tuition classes basically, which say that if you come to us, you have a very high chance of getting into IIT. And if you study the way that we ask you to, there's no way that you're going to miss IIT. So what do you think about these classes, and what do you think about the overall business model?
I think we should look into the proposition itself. Like, is IIT even that worthy? I have seen people like from non-IITs who are doing great. So IIT tag is, in my personal opinion, it's way too much hyped, and it's not that important. And kids are putting a lot of efforts into those 2 years preparing for physics, chemistry, and maths. And honestly, this is again my opinion that most of the parts which we study in chemistry are not that relevant in engineering in future. To some, we should discuss upon if an entire generation is putting so much efforts day in and day out in those 2 years, we should at least look into those subjects. And with time, at least we should, gradually change the subject to some extent. And now everybody is talking about coding and this and that. So how about just add coding into IIT and reduce some of the courses from, let's say, organic chemistry and inorganic chemistry? Just an idea. But if we do that, I think we'll get a lot of coders who are ready to, make something out of what they learned in 11th and 12th, right from the first day of college.
Is that a good idea? Because coding is, after all, syntax related a little bit. Do you think you're talking about algorithms or problem solving, which is more math than computer science?
The problem solving in the algorithms. Yeah, like if somebody even come up with, let's say, put one language in IIT, obviously, like some other people will say, like, why not put in Python? Why just C? So maybe, let's say, this war with the but yeah, all I'm saying, like, we can at least introduce these subjects in 11th and 12th. That would be somewhat beneficial. My point is, as a society, we are putting a lot of efforts in preparing for competitive exams, uh, preparing for IIT, preparing for then UPSC, CGL, a lot of exams. And the outcome of it is that it's like just pushing a car from inside. The work done would be zero. Like, the cutoff is going higher each year, but what's the point? Like, I get it. Like, now kids can solve those maths questions very fast, but what's the point of it? How about introduce some subjects which are useful instead of just those older subjects which are not as useful now? So, like in UPSC as well, like, cutoff is going higher each year. Are we getting better civil servants? I think the quality of civil servants are still the same what we used to get 10, 20 years back. So yeah, subjects में थोड़ा modification तो होना चाहिए.
There should be a change, but I don't know where the change should be. I mean, I can't specifically point out to one subject in chemistry or math or anything. Like, I was joking about inorganic chemistry. Inorganic chemistry is extremely useful. That's just a, I was just
Like,
joking.
I'm not saying it's useful. I'm not saying chemistry is totally useless. I'm saying it's useful. I'm saying let's start the dialogue and let's see what comes out of it. I'm not saying I know for sure what's right.
No, but
No.
Pradeep, don't you think there must be already, there must be people who are looking into this? There's an education board we have. There must be a lot of people who are probably constantly discussing this, or maybe I have too many hopes from my from my entities and organizations, or is it like it's probably happening? Because when I read books on the way that India's finances are handled in the departments and then police work being done, I'm actually astounded by what is being done and what the mainstream media portrays. The mainstream media is doing its job many times. I know in your case it's a different thing, but many times what it does is it does show the problems that are there. It should highlight problems more than celebrating and saying everything is perfect. But still, there's a lot that happens in the background that we are not aware of.
There are many good people and executives and who are doing really great work, but they are not. We don't know about them. The media doesn't write about them. The good teachers are like not celebrated. I think like good teachers like H.C. Verma and Arvind Gupta, such teachers should be celebrated, and we all should know about them. But the media is not writing about them, and all we get to see is the ads of such companies.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that's another interesting point. Do you think it makes a big difference if big movie stars endorse products that they know little to nothing about? For example, washing powder. If a movie star says it, I'll be like, what does this movie star know about washing clothes? Highly unlikely that they do it now. So really, them selling it is more like, okay, branding. So should we separate out branding from endorsements? Like, what are your thoughts on this?
If all these companies are paying so much of money to these celebrities, of course, it must be helping them out in their revenues. free में तो नहीं दे रहे. Yeah, but my opinion, like although it's not right, like all these cricketers and actors coming up and saying that their kids are also learning coding from these companies, which is totally not true. Like, can you guarantee that all these their kids really, like, you cannot tell that they were acting, or was that a true thing? Like, is saying that my kid is learning from, was his kid really learning from? Can we see the progress? Can we see all those apps now?
But okay, there's a lot of people who claim that I use this fairness cream. That time there is a backlash, yes, but really, is it something that the people need to know? Is it something that claim has to go through? For example, if you're drinking, like I said, soda or a particular aerated drink, do we have to enforce all of its affiliates and endorsers that no, you have to go ahead and do this? In which case, that becomes, I don't know. I mean, how will businesses run? For example, I am an affiliate. I have promoted a couple of products in my own channel. If someone says that I find it odd that you are promoting this without actually using it to get your next job, then I'll be like, dude, I need affiliates, I need endorsements. और मैं अगर स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन हूँ या अगर मैं सेलिब्रिटी हूँ, जो कि मैं नहीं हूँ, मैं इंजीनियर हूँ, लेकिन अगर ऐसा है तो मेरा एक ही तो प्राइमरी सोर्स ऑफ इनकम है जो कि एंडोर्समेंट्स और अफिलिएट्स है. तो क्या उनका सही में दोष है यहाँ पे?
But if you're using your kids also in ads, then it's a different thing. Now, how do I trust a kid? How do I not trust a 10-year-old kid? How do I believe that the 10-year-old kid is lying? That's the point. If an actor was saying it, okay, but their kids are also sitting in those ads, shaking their head, yeah, we are learning from him. So that's the issue. Where do we lie?
So how about so I'll anyway, sorry for stretching this topic a bit, but what if a celebrity comes forward and says that I would suggest all of the kids to go to this app and try it out? Would you find that okay?
Personally, if a cricketer or an actor is endorsing an educational app, personally, I won't find it okay, but it's okay. Yeah, if they are not using their own kids, then it's somewhat okay. But personally, for me, it's not okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing a personal difference of opinion I have with you here, but yeah, like professionally, there is no difference of opinion then. But that's a good thing, right? I think, Pradeep, you know what? I'll be honest with you. The best thing about this chat that we are having is that we are probably coming from different sides, different beliefs, different opinions, different ideas. Our perception of what is okay is so different, and yet we are able to have a civil conversation because there are no threats that you are giving me and I am giving you. And this is, I think, the crux of the matter. The reason why there needs to be a freedom of expression, speech, why it is so important to all of us is because we are all humans. We all want the better of humanity. We all have different perspectives. We have different opinions to get there or to get, wherever. The way to get there will not be by threatening Pradeep ki, मेरा net worth ही उतना नहीं है, लेकिन अगर मैंने बहुत बड़ा तुम पे केस डाला, तो that is not, I think, going to help me or him.
Like, yeah, like actually, like regarding this company, I was just making a couple of videos. I had no idea that I would, end up into this mess. Like, I wasn't even using my name actually initially. I just thought I'll use like and nobody will know my name, and that's it. I'll just show the fake reviews on Google Play Store, this and that, and it will be exposed. And my work is done. Then I can go and live my own life, and that's it. But this company just comes after everybody. Like, I've seen it, I know it. They were deleting every single thing which was against them, every single thing.
Then how does a customer actually survive? You can't even give feedback. It's one of the reasons why I feel many of the apps recently you might be seeing, they always ask for feedback, rating. One of the reasons I believe that these apps are so popular is because the customer has a lot of power. They can rate you. They can rate your service, not you basically. But if you're going to stifle that, that's a lot of power being taken away from the customer. And in a public platform, I know that most of the platforms that we are using, even the place it's going to go, this place, YouTube, is a private platform technically because it's owned by a company, but it's so large that it feels like a public platform. And if you go there and you completely stifle opinion, at least I will not be your customer. Yeah. I मतलब मेरे बच्चे होने पड़ेंगे पहले. ठीक है. Let me get to that first.
Yeah, but these companies were getting fake reviews on all their platforms. Like it cost 20 rupees to get a fake review on Google Play Store. I even found out those guys who were doing this work for this company. Okay, so it was a copy paste thing. Copy one review and keep on pasting it. So and keep on deleting the negative reviews, the honest ones. So in my opinion, this is fraud. You are just showing one side, the positive side, which is created by yourself, and you are deleting, removing the actual side, the negative side of it. So it's clearly deceiving the customers.
In the current situation you are right now, do you think if I would put you like 1 year back, would you follow your same footsteps, or would you be like, नहीं भाई बहुत भारी है ये तो, because I'm more scared than you, I think, because personally if I look at my net worth and then I look at a company which is massive, which can do many things. Like for example, I'm not claiming any company will do this, but I was thinking about what are the things that can go wrong with me. I have a support mail. What if a support mail is flooded? What if some fake reviews are put out on the internet with good search engine optimization that this person's company is not trustable? So there's so many things that can happen to me, right? And I was looking at it from that angle, and I was thinking about you. Dude, you really have some guts to just go all out. Like when someone puts pressure on you, the reason the pressure is put is because you're going to go down. But I think you didn't back down. What do you think is actually pushing you forward?
I think I have so much of experience in education from both the sides, being a teacher on and off, and being a student myself, being a candidate in so many competitive exams. Like I have given so many exams, like बहुत सारे exams, and I failed so many times. So I know what happens in them and what actually is happening. So मुझे I felt like I know this field. Like you talked about healthcare sector, I don't know about it. So I don't talk about it. But for this education sector, I know a lot. Like I personally feel that I know something. So that's why I just thought I should just post about it. And yeah, initially I didn't know like they would file a case on me or this would happen. I just kept on posting the same videos again. I've said like they deleted 17 of my videos, but they were like actually only 8 and 9 videos. I just re-uploaded them. I just kept on doing the same thing consistently. वो हटा देते थे मैं फिर अपलोड कर देता था. I kept on doing it. They used to ban me from YouTube, so I used to run to Reddit. तो Reddit पे हटा दिया, so I came on to Twitter. Twitter से हटाया, I went on to LinkedIn. So मैं भागता रहा, वो भागते रहे.
Yeah, लेकिन ये persistence, where is it coming from? ये जो never back down वाला attitude which I am able to see. Like I said, the important thing is a person shouldn't be needing to run all over the place to make their voice heard. ये कहाँ से आ रहा है कि नहीं मैं तो बोलूँगा, वो वाला attitude क्या कोई personal experience है, या फिर you just feel like this is भाई ये तो मेरा मतलब डील ब्रेकर है मेरे लिए, कुछ भी हो जाए मैं पीछे नहीं हटने वाला? वो कहाँ से रहा है, या फिर पहले से ही था, या कहाँ से क्या लग रहा है आपको, कहाँ से आ रहा है?
I don't know actually, but yeah, actually for the first time when I posted on Reddit, a lot of people commented this thing, that stop going on morning walks. Many people said that thing. So there was a myth that these companies can actually cause you harm. Today as well, a lot of their employees DM me and they tell me that there's something wrong in the company, and I just ask them like, what do you want me to do? What can I do with the DM if you can't post about it? So they say like, we can't post about it because something wrong can happen. So there is a myth in India that you cannot talk against such companies. I don't think people are so scared about companies in other countries as compared to here in India. So Yeah, so that's why I so thought like if so many people are scared, there must be some actual myth. I don't think these companies can just file a case on somebody and people should back out. I like this case itself, like it doesn't make any sense. The lawyers are also saying like the case doesn't make any sense, but they still filed it. Why? They thought like at some point the guy he'll get scared. Actually, I was scared for like a couple of hours initially when I got the email that a case has been filed for 20 crore rupees. I was just running around in my own room. I was thinking like, what do I do now? Like I thought up to like I was calling a friend and I was asking if I lose the case, what will happen? Like मेरे पास पैसे नहीं है but 20 crore. What will happen then? So like initially one lawyer told me that just pay 30,000 rupees and you write an apology letter and thing will be resolved. And for actually 1 or 2 hours, I even considered that. I thought like, कर दूं क्या यार, give up कर दूं. What can I do now? Finally, a lot of people came in and they supported me online and on different platforms. And then a lot of lawyers also came out and they said like, we'll fight a case. So that's the point. I thought like, let's see what happens. Today also, I don't know what will happen in future. So there's some anxiety part every day that I, the fear of unknown, like you don't know what will happen 6 months down the line. So but I thought like something must be done. Like the way these companies were running, this was too much. How can people be so scared of edtech companies? These are not like like mining companies or like oil companies. Like people who who are like dangerous people. These are edtech companies. Why are we scared of edtech
I
companies?
agree with you. Of course, the honorable courts will decide whether this is a good case or a bad one, and on which side should the ruling be. We are in no way trying to influence that. But I agree with you, Pradeep, that if you find that there's something objectionable and you raise your voice, and if you continue finding it wrong despite people claiming that it's not, then yes, then we have no option but to go to the highest authority, which is the courts in India. And I'm sure whatever ruling is there will be a. I mean, I don't want to comment on that, but you and everybody else is ready to accept the verdict. But that's great, and you are absolutely right. There, I feel personally there is a myth that if you go against people, something can happen to you, and I don't know why this comes in. Is it because we have a history of that? Is there a problem in terms of ऐसा किसी ने experience किया है क्या? क्योंकि why is there a feeling that if you go against a big company, nobody can save you? Okay, I was reading a book from Rakesh Maria. This was a lot of the cases he solved, excellent detection work going on. And there were some cases where the underworld actually killed people. Now you're getting this same advice on Reddit, which I agree is not the world's most trustable platform, but still, why is that sentiment all around in our families also, that if you go against big guys, be prepared for the consequences which are not justified but will happen? Why do we allow this kind of thing to even come across our minds? Like we should be running as customers. We should be running what's going on, not being threatened into silence ever.
Yeah, maybe it's just a myth. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe something can happen.
I hope that doesn't happen. I hope you're not wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't know, like I don't like why are people so scared about it? Like even the employees are not willing to speak against the company. Actually, these companies do make them sign. I'm not sure, but they do make them sign some contract that you can't talk against the company if anything happens to you as well.
So, Pradeep, what are your opinions on the education system at large in India?
One thing is like everybody is coming up with solutions. All these VCs are saying this is the solution and we are going to solve it. But in my personal opinion, I feel like actually nobody is getting the problem in itself, but everyone has a solution to the education system. We are not even trying to find the problem. Problem kya hai apne education system mein? But we do have a lot of solutions. Like this will solve the education system. This will do that. This will do that. But we are not looking at the problem. Now, in this, my personal opinion, I can be totally wrong in it. But I just want to start the dialogue. So my point is that the main problem in our education system is that we are studying in English. Okay, I'm not saying that don't study in English. This is the only option we have got now. Let's study in English. But just think about it. We are the only nation which are studying in a two-layer decipher thing. Like the kids learn English, and when they are reading some chapter in their books, they first read the English sentence, then they decipher it in their mother tongue, and then they understand what's written in the book. The Japanese, Chinese are studying in Mandarin, Polish people, Russian in Russians, French, Spanish, English people. Every one of those are studying in their own mother tongues. We are the ones who study in the language which we are studying right, parallelly while we are going through this school system, which is a bit weird. एक तरफ इंग्लिश सीखो और उसी इंग्लिश से बाकी का चैप्टर पढ़ो. So if you go to any tier 2, tier 3 city, you will find out that many of those kids don't even, they don't understand English very well. So how are they studying all those subjects, social studies or science or whatever subject they are studying? So they go to tuitions. So the tuition teacher will tell, okay, this is what this means, and then they cram those things. They remember those English lines. They don't understand it very well. So my opinion, my suggestion is, for the initial years, all the schools and all the primary schools, they should put a lot of focus on English. Skip other stuff if that is to be done. But English should be, taught really very well so that kids can really understand what's going on in the class. And which is actually not the case. I've talked to many kids and they don't understand English.
Okay. So, okay. You mean to say that first make the language, standardize the language in the first few years, formative years, and then go for other subjects, or?
Yeah. First, everybody should be, very much comfortable. And by saying this, I'm not saying, don't study your regional languages. Do study them. That's obviously important. But English should be, very much emphasized upon. People, the kids should understand it. And there are so many good apps about it. Like there's a really good app, Read Along. It's a Google's app. It's called Bolo now, BOLO. So it's a really cute, nice app, free app, but no actor is promoting the ad. Like won't come and advertise that. But it's a really good app. The kids from villages can learn English for free, and such apps should be promoted. I don't know by whom, but we should do something about it so that kids can really reach towards those apps. I'm not sure if I'm right. But why do India only have so many edtech companies? बाहर क्यों नहीं?
बाहर भी तो है, बाहर के कॉपी भी तो बहुत सारे हमारे पास.
नहीं, बाहर है, but look at the way they function. Look at how Coursera EDX is working out. I don't think they have a system which calls you, day in and day out. Over here, we are putting a lot of pressure on sales, and they are providing a lot of material for free. You can learn, like back in 2012 when I found out Coursera for the first time, I did that course, Algorithms by Stanford, I think. And it was such a great course, and I think उस time पे certificates नहीं होते थे. But then I thought like everything is going to change in few years and people would be doing all these courses for free. But that didn't happen. We are still going to the same path, and those, people are not opting for those courses which are out there for free. You can learn everything for free.
Okay, Pradeep, here I will I understand your main point, which is there's a lot of stuff out there which is free. Why don't you use that instead of going for a course? So I do understand your main point, but it's the same thing as, why do you go to university? Why don't you just use practicals in university and everything else can be read from books? Why are teachers there? Like you can read, and I'm telling you, like most reading can take care of a lot of the teaching that happens in universities. So why are they there? Do you want live video lectures? Then we can make it video. But I think the fundamental problem is, one is there is a human touch tendency that you can just ask your doubt right now, or it's happening to you in front of you live. That's the reason why YouTube Live exists. I mean, I don't see the point of YouTube Live much, except that it's easier for creators, and it's also it's live. You can send a doubt and the person will solve it right there. So and apart from that, in general, many people send their kids to play school not because they want a huge output in terms of they are socialized now, they're doing really well. But what do? I have some cash, I'm earning decently well. I don't want to stay at home from 3 to 6 when I'm working. So I'll send them to play school and somebody else can take care of them and hopefully do something good also during that time. And yeah, why not spend that money here instead of on giving them free apps which they're not going to use. Maybe they're not finding it interesting enough. One person needs to moderate them and also guide them. Hand holding karna hai bachcho ka.
Like I'm not saying like no, people shouldn't spend on education. They should, but I'm saying these apps are not getting enough coverage that they deserve. That's it. Like I also think like I saw in one of your videos where you had another one of there were two God of sense talking to each other, and I really like that concept because I read it in Derek Muller's thesis, the guy who runs that channel, Veritasium.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So in his thesis, he was trying to figure out, like, now that we are shifting from textbooks to videos, so there should be some research done na, like what's the best format to make a video. So he found out that if the students will invest more mental efforts if there is a dialogue going on in a video instead of one person standing on a blackboard just saying this is it. One is acting as a student and one is asking doubts, silly doubts, good doubts, bad doubts, and that will represent the students in the video. So yeah, I'm just saying like there should be some research done and these things can be improved upon. The beauty of internet was one to many, that one teacher can teach a lot of students, not one to one thing. Like, why are we going back in time? Let's utilize this thing and let's make this a video thing a better platform that one teacher can teach a lot of other people.
I agree with you, Pradeep. But don't you think that some things will be one-to-one? For example, an interview. If you're taking it online, there are other benefits which are there. For example, I mean, there's so many benefits. You can stay at home. You can just wear a shirt right now. Thank God you guys are not able to see what I'm wearing under this shirt. But stuff like that, which have different benefits than the one-to-many thing, and are not necessarily free also. Like, for example, an interview to get shortlisted in an interview, you have to do a lot of stuff. So you're investing your time and effort. But eventually, the internet is just a tool that we can use in any way that we want as long as we derive value. So what I'm doing here is I'm being the devil's advocate or whatever, the opposite guy. I'm just trying to find flaws everywhere. I'm sorry for that, but yeah, this is just me in my natural state. Yeah, sorry.
See, like, I'm not saying that one-to-one thing is not useful. Like, eventually the interview would be done one-to-one only. You have to prepare yourself that way. But there should be some platforms that provide better education one-to-many, and those should be utilized. If there is something out there for free already, why are you going for the something which is not that great?
Yeah,
that's what
I completely agree with you. Yeah, products which are better deserve to be publicized. Do you think the onus is on people to publicize it, or do you think the onus is on, like, of course, some of the onus has to come on customers who have tried the product, loved it. Especially if it is free, you should promote it. Or even if it is not free, if it's going to benefit thousands of people or millions of people, or going to change the whole system, then you should promote it. Yes, some responsibility comes on us. But do you think the onus is also on the creators?
I think the creators would be doing their best they can to promote their content. I think the viewers should also, who are getting benefit out of a free lecture, they should also, do something for the creator, that you got something such a great lecture, you should share it or like it or whatever. Do something about it. Like, why I'm saying all this is because once I checked the YouTube history of one kid with his permission. I I just said like, let's see what he said like, sir, I'm studying all these subjects and this and that, and I just said like, let's see what are the teachers you are going to, and what are the YouTube channels you have subscribed to. And trust me, I was like, he was subscribed to really bad channels, really bad content, really under average teachers. And I was like, ये इतने सारे teachers है, इतने the really good channels, the famous one which you would also know, everyone knows, but he had no idea about it. So it's a really dangerous thing. What happens is the YouTube algorithms and all these algorithms keep people in their own loop and in their own bubble, and they never come to know about the other thing which are out there, because the advertisement is so heavy that they had no idea कि ये exist भी करता है. उनको पता ही नहीं है कि अच्छा कोई फ्री में पढ़ा रहा है. His point was like, अच्छा ये कोई फ्री में पढ़ाता है. मैं बोला हाँ, like a lot of people are teaching all these things for free. उनको पता ही नहीं था. So that's also one of the concerns.
यार जहाँ पे आवाज़ ज़्यादा है वहाँ पे लोग देखेंगे, और जहाँ पे देखेंगे उसी को समझेंगे. लेकिन कुछ हद तक मैं समझ रहा हूँ आपका पॉइंट, और मैं अग्री भी करता हूँ कि marketing or these things are very important, and the onus is also on us partly as a society and as people to promote good content when we see it, especially if it's something that we can all benefit from. However, मेरे को जितना समझ में आता है, like I'm talking about myself, okay? If I see a really good video, I may not like it, may not even subscribe. But if you show it that to me again, then I'll watch the video from same channel in a different video. So the YouTube algorithm also strangely nowadays has become pretty smart. It says that I need to maximize my watch time. So if this person is watching this, they really liked it, I'll show content, similar content, could be from the same channel. But I like that fact that you don't necessarily need to like, which is a really rare event. Like if I loved the video, I go like, whoa, then I go and hit the like button. And if I go like, this person has consistently made at least 3 good videos, I'll think about hitting that subscribe button then. So I say it in every video for me, like, share, subscribe. There's a very small percentage of viewers who will go ahead and do those actions. Most people are like, like me, I've spoken to, at least in my family or my friends, they are also like that we don't subscribe, we don't like, but we do watch. We do, we may not share, because that is like you're putting your personal, you're actually putting a bit of yourself, what do they say? You're kind of guaranteeing other people that this is a good video, watch it, which is risky. But why would you put yourself personally out there for somebody else? So, selfish people like me, we behave this way. That's my excuse for, I think, 90% of the people.
Yeah, but I don't know a lot about YouTube. I'm just new there. So.
No. Pradeep, you're no noob. You have a lot of subscribers. Guys, do check out Pradeep's channel. It's a very interesting channel, and you can view some of the videos, like, share, subscribe. I know 90% of you won't, but it makes a difference when we do. So yeah, Pradeep, you have a YouTube channel and you have a LinkedIn account where you can follow him.
Yeah, I have a lot of YouTube channels.
Yeah, you have a lot of there's a lot of YouTube channels. Yeah, I'll post one of them in the description because I can't fill it up na pura.
I think if something is bothering you and is something going wrong and in some education sector or whatever, I think people should speak about it. A lot of people are doing me DMs and they're asking me, they're just telling me their stories and I don't know what to do.
If you completely agree with Pradeep, you can support him like through liking, sharing, and subscribing on the social media platforms. And if you disagree with him, that's also perfectly fine. Pradeep is not making the point that he's right. How old are you, Pradeep? You're under 30, I think. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we are 30 people. We barely know anything about the world. If we go in and say that raise taxes, we are wrong. reduce taxes, we are wrong. Keep taxes the same, we are still wrong because we have no idea what's going on. We're just trying to talk and explore the world through the few tools that we have. One of them is communication. So I think most of you will agree that, like I said, the whole point of the thing is we need to be able to communicate without fear that we are going to get trampled on by people who maybe understand more than us, whatever be the case. But yeah, hopefully we're not going to get trampled on. But thanks, Pradeep, for, I think you have instilled a lot of hope and you have picked up a few very important myths. I think the most important myth is that don't be too scared if you're wrong. Don't apologize if you're not wrong. I mean, at the end of the day, you believe you're not wrong, and then eventually a higher authority has to decide the matter, which is going to be completely respected. But thank you, Pradeep, for coming here and making this a really interesting conversation. Like I said, guys, do follow. Let's see what happens. I have a lot of hopes, but let's see where this goes.
Yeah, and thank you as well for all the videos. I have watched so many videos of this. Like, even actually, like, even when I was not into software,
Oh,
even then I used to watch a video. Like, ठीक है यार, ये सही समझा रहा है. There were so many concepts which I was not very comfortable with. I thought like, अच्छा अब समझ आया मुझको. So yeah, do
I have to do more double rolls then. चलो समझ में आ गया, ठीक है. All right, Pradeep, see you. Thank you. Take care. Bye.